well, up here on the top left side of Lightshade LE, we are on map number 1 of this best of 5 series. Playing for Alpha X, we have Ragnarok. In the red zone pieces, and down here on the bottom right, also playing for Alpha X. Let's see what we can bring today. I've noticed a lot of Protoss recently been going for a variety of builds on 2 bases. Let's see what Classic's got in store for us today. It's Classic. Alright. So last time I casted Classic, we had quite a nutty game, actually. I think we had a Proxy Tempest. No, straight to Tempest and Fleet Beacon on the opener. Which has become quite common recently in ZVP. Trying to be quite a strong build these days. Now, if you do want to see the bracket today, exclamation mark bracket. It will give you spoilers. This is a replay cast, so yeah, check it out at your own peril. So fair silent opener going on for us today. We've got the gateway. Then we've got the spawning pool, so we're going into a very regular ZVP. Nothing to be wary of at the moment. No proxy hatches, no proxy gates or anything like that. So I feel like we've been casting on and playing on this map pool for quite a lot. I don't think we can even talk about maps these days. And ZVP is very much just broken down. We have figured out most recently since the Void Ray update. I think a lot of players have settled into a bit of a meta. It's very predictable where things go now. The responses, the army compositions. I think probably it's on Protoss' side now to be more sneaky, to set up new different types of attacks. I've noticed that even in a best of 5 series, you can see 4 different build orders from these Protosses. Very much just keeping the Zergs on their toes. And also, if the Zerg just messes up where they scout, or if they scout and the tech switch happens, then the Protoss is in a lot better position to actually secure the game. So we are going to see the Stargate now for Classic. Double Adept, so it's looking like it's probably going to go into a little bit more of the Void Ray style. Alright, so first step going out, just gonna have a little shade around, see what's going on. You also have another Adept coming up as well. So let's see what the next unit decision is going to be and where we're going to go from here, because we have oh, it's going to be Oracle actually. The first Stargate unit, and that Shade's going to go in. Go have a look. Nothing, probably not going to finish at Shade though. Getting a little scout off. Going to see that there's a third base nearly done here as well. Quite nicely timed third base actually. You're going to see 2 minute 30. Maybe slightly before actually. Both players just macroing up really. So we do see a Spore Crawlers on the way for Ragnarok as that Oracle comes across the map. Some initial damage getting done here. 2 drones are going to go down. Spore Crawler now going to fire in response. And actually, just before the Spore Crawler finished was when that Oracle got damage done. So really, really tightly positioned there. Like 1 second window to get those 2 drone kills. Very nicely done. And all damage is good damage, right? Especially against a Zerg. I think if you do build an Oracle, you do want to get at least 2 worker kills, right? I think you probably want a little bit more. But at least the Oracle starts quite high HP on the whole. So we aren't going to see it go down anytime soon. Oh, hold that thought. Actually, taking quite a lot of damage on the whole. Actually going to lose it. Okay. All right. You know what? Without taking another 3 workers down with it, though. I feel like there's a bit of a sack off, though. I guess as time goes on, the Oracle can do less work. But, you know, I feel like the Oracle could have been kept alive, you know. So Ragnarok slowed down a little bit. We do have the Void Ray moving across the map now. And we do have Queens up on the front, ready to repel this. We got a Queen up in the main, so we've got 5 Queens in total for Ragnarok. And he's just going to push forward a little bit to keep that Void Ray at Bay. We do have the third base now finished here for Classic. And Classic's decided to go into more of a gateway, and I'm actually going to see the Dark Shrine as well. So going to Templar Archives and Dark Shrine. It's going to be pretty messy, I think. Yeah, no more Stargate units to come out at the moment, so it's going to be a complete transition to this Dark Templar commitment. We do see the Warp Prism as well, so yeah, at the moment, all we've got is one Void Ray in defense for Classic, but I don't think Ragnarok's got anything planned at the moment. These Lings could probably get a little bit damage done if they wanted to commit to this third base right now, but there is a cannon here as well, so I think Classic's feeling pretty safe. But yeah, again, the gateway explosion now coming down. Classic's definitely getting ready to go for a bit of a committed attack. We're actually going to see the Archons get morphed in here. And that's interesting though, because okay, yeah, I was going to say the Dark Shrine was cancelled in the end. I was going to say we don't need High Templars at the same time as Dark Templars to create Archons. Like that would just be silly. Archons will get dropped, do a little bit of damage to this Queens, but not quite enough. And there's a surround on that Archon. If you lose the Archon, that's going to be real bad. Actually does lose the first Archon. Not great at all for Classic. Classic's on a really good probe camp right now. You got the Overseer now seeing what's up. Let's see exactly what the tech is. It's going to be a regular Gateway army by the looks of it. Plus one has now finished an Immortals, and it's just going to stick it into a bit more of a ground-based army here. Now we do have Charge now finished up for the Zealots. And it's going to get cleared up. Hydras are here. Hydra upgrades are now being produced as well. Hydraling Bane is going to be the name of the game here for Ragnarok. I think that's kind of a bit of a risky decision. Like, we're only going into this Hydraling Bane whilst the Storm's being researched. The Storm's been pretty quick, so yeah, the Overseer's going to come in and see that Storm is being researched, so at least Ragnarok's not going in blind against this, so you might want to get some Lurkers up, maybe focus a little bit more on the Bane production than he was previously, but at the moment, Classic's looking in a very good position right now. Now the Warp Prism is going to go to the north side of the map. It is going to be a Zealot drop-in, but these Hydras are well prepared for this drop. And meanwhile we have a Painling drop trying to get thrown down here. Nothing too successful at the moment. Both drops actually getting deflected by each player, respectively. Again, trying to drop in there, only getting 2 work kills on that one. Ragnarok's army is looking pretty insane right now, although it is pretty low tech, only staying on the lair tech at the moment, no lurkers to be seen. Infestation Pit is now nearly finished up for Ragnarok, so we can go into the hive tech very shortly. A little bit of a Moiprong, a few Banelings going over to the natural. Will actually be able to get in if it commits. Oh, it's going to get down to the third instead, and the army just comes back and responds to that. +2 melee isn't available at the moment. No one shot on those probes. This is not a good engagement for Ragnarok at all. Loads of storms here available for Classic, so just pushing that army back right now. The army's not that big for Classic overall. I mean, especially out in the open. Like, half the army is basically a High Templar, and we do have Archons. We do have quite a lot of Immortals. I think the 6 Immortals, very strong. Doesn't trade well with Hydraling Bane, though. Looks like Ragnarok's going to commit to the front here. Oh, and committing the banelings to the probe line as well. I'm not sure I like that trade necessarily. It's going to set Classic back a little bit on the economy. These banelings do survive. They're going to take out... Oh, actually going to try and get a flank down as well. I don't know if these banelings are getting that much damage done to justify their existence, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know how effective that was. I mean, how many banelings... Oh no! You know, that's the risk of casting from a replay, I guess. You mess up your control, your hotkeys there. Oh, and now we know how long the game goes on for. That's unfortunate. All right, here we go. I wanted to get units lost, actually, not anything else, honestly. Alright, so we'll play back from here. Let's go back from here. We've only got a couple of minutes left in this game anyway, so we've got the baneling connections going in here. But I wanted to see just how effective that trade was, because we've already got 40 banelings going down here. And actually the trades haven't been too bad. I mean, there's a lot of gas being lost here for Ragnarok overall. I think that's the main trades that we don't really like here. But look at these banelings, not actually getting much done. Running over to the third, and that is a huge portion of Ragnarok's army gone there. And I think if you're stuck on that Hydroling Bane, then I think you're forced to make decisions like that, trying to take the economy out of the Protoss, and it doesn't always work out. I think Classic's just been really good with positioning of his army there. And actually, he had most of his army down here fighting off this, the other multi-prong that was happening. And meanwhile, the banelings were rolling into the natural, which it did a little bit of damage, but the trades from the banelings meant that the army didn't need to be in position to actually do damage in the end. I think that was the main concern here for Ragnarok. And Ragnarok's still not in a bad position at all. We do have a maxed out army, we do have upgrades pretty well done, but this is very much stuck on lair tech at the moment. No Lurkaden, just staying on the Hydroling Bane. And I like it, this is a style that I like to do, but it's very hard to play, very hard to execute it against players like Classic. So Bane's are going to roll in again, and I think this is exactly what you need to do, is just keep up this pressure. But again, not getting much done there. The probes are pulled away at exactly the right moment, and now this army can now just push on to creep. And try and get something done, because this is a huge army. Look how many Archons there are. We go. Flank does try to get put in here, but actually only one or more going down so far. And that's a lot of the front line now dead. 13 probes do go down, but I don't think it matters. There's not much here to defend at all. The low tech of Ragnarok means that Classic's able to pick up this game number 1. It seems like both players want to play a fairly standard ZVP in these series, which is very nice. We get to watch the bread and butter of ZVP. And as I said a little bit earlier, this map pool's been out for so long now that we can't even talk about maps that much. We've all heard it before. We all know what the maps are and what their strengths and weaknesses are. What Caster's gonna do, eh? Where's this map pool? Need something to talk about before the game starts. And of course, the casting trick is to talk about and the tickling of the probe. And actually, this drone is going to run all the way off creep. Thanks for everyone tuning in at home. It's great to actually have viewers today. I'm competing with the ROG class as well, and yeah, it was. If any of you turned up to the last cast, Nice's torture. That was an absolute scorcher of a series, and I recommend going onto my VODs and checking that one out if you haven't already. I want to get something like that up on YouTube at some point as well, because it's so funny. In fact, I think I'll put the whole series on YouTube, so I'll link that later on across my platform. Alright, so let's talk about the ZVP then. We do have Stargate being built here for Classic.
It's Kayla time.
Sushi, thanks for the subscription, man. What's happening? Like, such great support this month, thank you. Quite a successful month for my channel, actually. Very enjoyable. So we are going to that standard ZVP again. Both players doing exactly what they did last game, and it looks like Classic's the one to slow down these days. You know, like, yeah, these ZVPs, man, like these protesters really know how to play ZVP. At least the Korean scene, anyway. I know ZVP over in EU is a little bit more a little bit harder to play from the protesters' point of view, because I feel like several ZVP is just absolutely insane. Like, insane ZVP. And over in Korea, the stuff I've been casting recently, protesters have just been dominating their opponents. I think the last 3 ZVPs actually have gone the protesters' favor, nearly like 4-0, 3-0, etc. So if you're a Protoss fan, like these games will excite you, because Korean Protoss right now is looking very scary. It's happening, Richard. Hey, there is a Jeddrix cast. Get on up. So we do see the Lings now poking around. We're going to see the third base go down as well, and a Void Ray added on. I'd like to see what happens here. So we're going to Twilight Council and Forge, and I guess that Classic is not going to go for any more Stargate units right now. Very similar to last game, and the Oracle did get a bit of worker damage done as well whilst I was chatting away there. So already I think this is really good for Classic, right? I mean, also we do have the Lings now being produced for Ragnarok, which eats into a bit of the drone supply as well. Which one will go down a very standard time, as well as the lair. So yeah, nothing indicating really early attack from Ragnarok either. I do feel like Classic's looking in a very nice setup position here, and I'm interested to see where this goes. It's going to be charge and the +1 attack, and also the Dark Shrine going down again. Which is, I mean, last game we saw the Dark Shrine go down, and then it got cancelled a bit later on. And I don't know what the decision necessarily was for cancelling the Dark Templar or the Dark Shrine, because I don't think Ragnarok actually scouted it. Yeah, look, and again, maybe it's just in case Lings go up and scout it, because he goes to Dark Shrine, cancels it, and he goes to Dark Templar Archives. Very interesting. Means they're tired a lot worse about playing Serral and all the others, yeah. Actually, it is a big thing, because, you know, I guess normally players have to travel to Korea for some of the larger tournaments. So they're BlizzCon held in the US as well. So, you know, in real life events, you have the sleep deprivation side of it as well. So I guess the scene is struggling with that as a whole. But it's the same with any competition, I guess. Like, if it's played in person, like, you gotta think like Olympics and stuff like that. But this is such a mentally, cognitively driven game that I guess sleep deprivation is one of the worst things for players. So you're absolutely right, Richard. There must be a bit of a contributory factor towards that. So we do have a push now for Classic, and actually, all in all, this looks like a very defensive position for Ragnarok, but it's only Roaches here so far, and he is kiting back. This is only a handful of Zealots, and it's already doing quite a lot of damage to Ragnarok, and I don't think he was really prepared for anything to move out this early in the game, but he has repelled it for now. Spire is going to be built as well, which I kind of like, actually. I think Spire's not a bad decision. These Zarkons are going to get juggled around. They're getting absolute value at the moment. Nearly trading in a double their amount there, so Classic doing a good job at slowing the Zerg down, staying on the same economy as well. Actually, you have 70 workers for both players here. But soon on the way, and we do have that storm as well. And interestingly, we haven't actually had a scout, I don't think, from Ragnarok in a little while here. He's dealing with this drop a little bit too much. And also, because he's got Mutalisks up. Oh no, he could definitely shut us down. Oh, quick. That was real quick from Classic, recalling there. Back to the natural. So now, yeah, I guess... Oh, Oracle goes down. But, yeah, Phoenix is now starting up here for Classic to really rein in those Mutalisks. Yeah, there has been quite a lot of cheese from Classic at times, and I've also seen quite quick teching up as well. He hasn't shown any of that today. I'd like to see at least one game. So I also have another Classic best of 5 series coming up after this. So Traveling Bane and Mutas added on is going to be the name of the game for Ragnarok. Creep not looking too scary at the moment. We do see the Baneling Nest now researching speed and infestation pit on the way. Really late to tech up, actually. Well, I wouldn't say really late, but I guess Aspire delays a lot of your tech decisions. But I'm just interested that lurkers haven't been built at the moment. I know a lot of people have been questioning the existence of lurkers recently. I've been watching a few streams where players have been wondering whether lurkers are actually indeed the best way to go. I mean, you're not going against that. I don't see a Robo Bay or anything like that at the moment. So I mean, it's really interesting because you got double Robo facility, double Stargate, and the other tech decisions here. So I think you've got so much tech flexibility here for Classic. There's a huge attack on the top side of the map. Now going into the 4th base location of Classic. But it's going to get... you got a few Phoenixes now flying around, just going to be able to scout this. And actually deciding to go back home. I think he saw the main army of Classic over on the middle of the map there. He does keep a little bit back over on this base to deny the 4th. And he does so very well. Oh, but no, half the army gets caught out here in the middle of the map. A little bit of a trade does go on. A few Zealots go down, but I don't think that's very good for Ragnarok at all. Oh no, I don't know where this can go now. More Banelings do get more thin, and this is such a huge army here for Classic once again, and he's now just pushing into creep. I think he knows that he can push this again. Exactly the same army composition, for all intents and purposes. Like 8 Immortals. I mean, what do you do against 8 Immortals with Road Ravaging Bane? The Banelings do come in. Actually, not bad splash damage overall, but look, the Immortals are just staying alive for the most part, and a lot of this backline army is able to just now push in for Classic. He is going to do a lot of damage and pretty much clean up this army for Ragnarok. He's just going to push in onto that 3rd base. GG's called, and Classic takes game number 2 in this best of 5 series. Alright, so very standard plays here by both players so far. I'd like to see where this can go. And whether someone will actually pull the trigger a little bit earlier and add a little spanner in the works, or wrench in the mix, or whatever you want to call it. But I don't think that will happen. I think both players are quite comfortable with playing quite macro versus each other. And I think Classic doesn't need to change anything up that isn't broken. You're probably just going to go into very similar builds here because Ragnarok is clearly struggling. You know what? He hasn't even tried to queen walk. Just saying. Just saying. We do have the Nexus first here for Classic. Become a lot more popular in ZBP over the last year or two. Before it would be very much Cybercore first, but I think once you know that your opponent is playing quite safe and going for that hatch first, I think it's absolutely fine decision to make. Alright then. Watching these EVPs makes me want to play StarCraft, you know. Not that watching as glues is my favourite pastime activity. In fact, it's probably my least favourite. Going for the linear third as well. I've seen loads more Zergs going for this triangular third recently. And I guess that kind of broadcasts what your kind of intention for the game is as well, because a lot of Zergs go for this base if they want to push for a Queen Walk a bit later on, and obviously on Jagannatha that's pretty good. It is really just on Jagannatha to get that kind of push out, because there's a few choke points that can come down. You can smash this base here, or you can run into the natural as well. And there's not very many choke points down in the middle to block you off at any point, as long as you control your army properly. So a lot of Zergs would take this forward base just so that they can get a bit closer to actually launch your attack, have creep a little bit further out. So I think taking the linear base kind of broadcasts a little bit about where you want your strength to lie, whether you want to macro a little bit harder, whether you want to be able to get that economy out a little bit easier. Yeah, just a general interesting to see what happens here. And again, a huge round of Lings coming out. It seems to be the Ragnarok special to get the Lings out at this time. I do think it's quite a lot, though. We're talking 20 Lings at the moment, and I'd personally like that to almost entirely be drones, but I guess if you can deny this third base going up as well, which he is going to do, actually half of it. Half of the Lings going up to the top side there, going to delay the third base, kind of justifies its existence a bit. On the Adept going down as well. Void Ray is here to now defend. Another reason why Void Ray openers are really good is because they can defend against this kind of thing. Again, denying again. So now we're over 4 minute 30 and the third base hasn't started on the Void Ray opener. Very good. And keeping the Oracle at home. Not bad, actually. Not bad at all. The lair is going to get built at a very regular time, and the Spore's going to go down as well. Yeah, again, we're seeing a very similar reaction from Ragnarok so far. It'll be interesting to see if he tries to go for a Spire again, or if he goes into Hydroling Bane, or Roach Ravagerling Bane, or anything like that. But we're actually going to see something completely different here. For Classic, it's going to be the Twilight. It's going to be into Glaive Adepts. We're going to see the Stargate now, obviously start off with the Void Ray and Oracle. We're now going to see transition to more Adepts. What's up, Digits 8? Good morning to you. Thanks for joining, by the way. I'm very appreciative that you're checking in on my stream, because I was worried I was not going to have too many people join me, and I'll be here lonely. But I'm not. And Digits, you're checking in at a very good point, because Classic is currently 2-0 up on Ragnarok, and yeah, this is the best of 5, so he's 1 point away from being able to take this, and you're now just about to see so many Adepts, and actually not much of a response, because I mean, we do have Roaches out. There are more on the way, so I don't think these Adepts will be able to get much done. 4 Queens is a respectable amount to be able to defend against this. But it's actually just being able to trade this out, just engage with this and actually take out 2 Queens and commit to that third base location. Spine is here, going to defend a little bit against this aggression. But he is just trading units for units at the moment. Where are those Adepts? Thanks, Jed over OG. Oh, yeah. I'm an absolute contender, right? So yeah, the Depth's just kind of going, just trying to find a little bit of damage. Might actually be able to commit to the natural here. Really well controlled here. He only gets 2 working kills, and I'm going to roll to main. And meanwhile, we're also going to have a shade into the third base location as well. So the spine up here doing quite a lot of work, but 15 drones going down in total, and that just shows that you can be well prepared against this kind of attack, but still lose quite a lot. Oh man, 17. 19 in total, and Ragnarok's just getting outplayed here by Classic a little bit. Still on 3 bases, whilst his opponent still mines up. Very well done here by Classic. He's actually going into Mortals, and actually, he has the tech down for this. Yeah, he scouted the Spire as well. I didn't even notice there was a Spire, but he scouted it. I guess that's going to keep you safe against the Depths, but again, really well done here by Classic. Just keeping pressure on his opponent and scaling out of it really nicely. Are we casting Epic Land this time round? Probably not in its entirety. We'll probably... So I'm signing up as a caster. I think we both are, but we... So I actually want to play an Epic Land. So I've been practicing a lot, and I kind of want to... I want to flex a little bit. So yeah, I'd like to cast some, for sure. But whether we'll be there for the whole thing, not so sure yet. Yeah, do check out. Do check it out. So we do have that push out again a little bit earlier here for Classic, but I think he's got now seen an opportunity. These mutants aren't going to get much done. Yeah, the follow-up is just looking very scary here for Ragnarok so far. I don't think he can really hold with this army in its current state. There are Ravagers, but I mean, there's only a handful and nothing else. And the economy has just been completely gutted here for Ragnarok. So, massive commitment here for Classic, but I think it's going to pay off. Going to take out that 4th base location. Many of the units do stay standing here for Classic. I don't see it happening. Ragnarok. He does buy a little bit of time to get a resupply out. 10 more roaches on the way as well. Isn't too bad, but we do have the GG, and Classic actually takes the match 3-0.